Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Real World Prepper. Let's talk about the State of the Union. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so let's assume that everybody watching this video watched the State of the Union last night. If you did not, this will be sort of a brief recap. Wouldn't be a bad idea for you to go look at it if you haven't looked at it. And I just made some notes, kind of like what I did last year on this channel via the State of the Union. Made some notes, and I kind of wanted to make some commentary on some of this stuff. So, of course, February 4th, 2020, State of the Union, President Donald Trump. It was first of all, when he took the podium, it was a very hearty welcome. Several minutes of applause. Of course, Pelosi announced, she didn't announce it as my honor to introduce the President of the United States of America to my members of Congress. And the only reason I bring that up is because I think she was the first time, that was the first time in history where those words have not been uttered. It is my honor to do so. And it's just pomp and circumstance stuff, I don't know that we'd expect much more from her. Certainly we could expect less from her. But at any rate, that's how she introduced him. Of course, when she did announce members of Congress, the President of the United States of America, raucous applause. And then the chants, 4 more years, 4 more years, 4 more years. Started up, and of course President Trump, he thank you very much, and as humble as he can sort of way. I'm prefacing any of this by saying that, as many of you know, I'm not the biggest Trump fan, but I'm certainly no fan of anybody on the left, any of these socialist, liberal, Democrat folks. Okay, so I want 4 more years of Donald Trump personally. So anyway, that being said, I'm just going to hit some points here. He talked about how America is highly respected again. Of course, applause broke out again, except, of course, Pelosi. Every time there's stuff going on, her and pretty much most of the left side of the House just sat there solemn and glum looking. Anytime there was there was many standing ovations, so many things that he said. The haters that are in the House and in the halls, they're not going to give him anything, not even going to give him an inch. He mentions that values are renewed, pride restored. That's a nice sentiment on behalf of President Trump. I don't know that is entirely accurate, but I know that's what he says he's trying to achieve. And in some ways, there has been, I can say from my own personal experience, there has been some pride restored, and I can see where some values are trying to be protected and reinstated, renewed, if you will, like he said. I'm going to paraphrase on some of this stuff. He says, State of the Union is stronger than ever before. He says, reversing Obama's economic policy has brought us, the United States, back. Financially speaking, economically speaking, in the world, on the world stage. I believe we all have seen how the financial system is doing better. We're in pretty good shape as far as that goes, and a lot of people say, "Oh, well, that's because President Trump inherited what Obama did." No, that's not true. President Trump has been a very strong advocate for America's economic position, and from what I see, the moves that he makes, trade deals that he's making, different things that he's done, he is trying to protect that, make that better. So I kind of agree with that. We've got record job rates, lowest unemployment, especially for women, for blacks, other minorities. Disabled people, veterans. He also mentioned that, and again I'm kind of paraphrasing, but that many Americans have been lifted off of welfare. He talked about how there are so many people, so many fewer people now on welfare than there had been before. And this is due to job growth. And raucous cheers, of course, again from Republicans and people, supporters, of President Trump, and lots of snide looks and mutterings under the breath and head shaking from the people who would just rather have all of us on the government tit, for whatever their reasons would be. Our energy independence is, our energy independence is at a record high. Companies are coming back to the United States where the action is, as he put it. Again, the others, and I say the others, this is your Debbie Wasserman Schultz, of course Pelosi, that Ilhan Omar, AOC, I think that girl's name is that other one. What is her name? Tabby Gulsard or Tulsi Gabbard, whatever it is. They're all just looking glum, and I mean, if looks could kill, he'd be dead right up there on that podium. Just they're America-hating traitors is what they are, and I'm going to call it like it is because I'm sick of it, sick of seeing it. America-hating traitors is what these people are. They can't get behind. Maybe they don't like the guy, fine. Maybe they got a problem with the guy for whatever their reasons are, fine. But can they not recognize some of the good that he's done? I guess that would mean that they would have to love this country in the first place, and they don't. They don't love the country. They don't want us to love the country. They don't want, they want to keep perpetuating the idea that if you're white, straight, male, Christian, all these things, that you're part of the problem. You're the bigot and the hater and all that. I'm the worst guy in the country. I'm representative of one of the worst things that ever happened to this country. Well, we built this country, man, It was built with a conglomeration of people and creeds and ethnicities and stuff, But it was, it was settled by the majority white Europeans, That's just what it is. It's not a racist thing. It's just a fact, So I don't understand why they can't recognize that everybody is doing better. Everybody across the board is doing better and prospering. That's just not, that doesn't fit their agenda. That doesn't fit all of the things that they say and scream and tout and everything. So anyway. Juan Guaido was recognized as the president of Venezuela. That came to a standing ovation. He was there. Juan Guaido, however you say that. He was, Trump recognized him as the legitimate president of Venezuela.
Gene, come to Scott's office, Gene.
Gene's got to come to Scott's office. I'm at work, in case you hadn't figured that out. So he goes on to say, President Trump says, socialism destroys nations, freedom restores the soul. Now, I really liked that statement. I just liked it. I thought it was a good statement. I agree. Socialism destroys nations. Freedom restores the soul. It does so much more, too. Of course, he announced, the Space Force branch of the military. He brought out the 100-year-old veteran Charles Moore, one of the last of the Tuskegee, if not the last of the Tuskegee Airmen. That pretty famous group there of black men in the military from years and years ago. He promoted, of course, it was more. Sorry for the interruption, but anyway, that he promoted Charles Moore to Brigadier General, which was more symbolic than anything, but it was still cool. It was a cool thing. Observation: Jerry Nadler. He either needs to shorten his tie or pull his pants down a little bit. Did you see that? His pants were up to here, and his tie was down to here, and he just looked like a sourpuss, like I've never seen before. Again, sorry for the disruptions. You know, I am at work after all. Again, like I was saying, Ilhan Omar, I cannot think of the presidential candidate that was there, sitting there looking all glum-faced. All the rest of them, they're just America-hating traitors. It's just hanging their heads in shame, you know. I got nothing for them, man. I got nothing for them at all. As far as healthcare, he said we will never let socialism destroy American healthcare. Of course, there was groans, etc., across the board for that. Sanctuary for law-abiding citizens, he says, not for violent criminals. Paraphrasing a little bit, he says we're gonna, you know, and also he talked about punishing sanctuary cities, especially in the face of if they have harbored, if it will, and allowed an illegal in who does something awful to an American, you know, perpetrates a crime, that we're going to go after not only the individual who perpetrated the crime, but the sanctuary city itself, that they can be sued by victims. I think that's fantastic. He says sanctuaries should be for law-abiding citizens, not for violent criminals. No more catch and release. He talked about our outdated and randomized border policy. He wants to bring in properly motivated and trained people to be, you know, on that front, which is super important, as many of you know, most of you know. The Second Amendment, now again, I realize that he hasn't been the best Second Amendment president we've ever seen, but I think he's certainly better than any of those Democrats that are vying for this position. But he talks about that. He mentioned that the Second Amendment rights protection will be protected regardless of what else has to happen. We'll see. You know, we'll see. I believe he's going to get 4 more years, so we will have time to see. I'm going to leave this one on the table. The Israeli and Palestinian peace talk. I believe that was kind of a non sequitur. I'm not sure. Don't know enough about that really to speak on it. And then at the end, of course, Nancy Pelosi tears his speech in half, as if to say, I don't care, you know, it doesn't matter any of the good that's in this, I don't like you, and so here's how I'm going to act like a child and rip this up right in front of you. That just, wow, what a witch. So anyway, that's just my little quick rundown on the State of the Union that took place February the 4th of 2020. Donald Trump delivered the State of the Union. And if you didn't get a chance to watch it, like I say, go watch it. And appreciate you watching this little chopped up, interrupted video to share the details of it with you. And for now, that's all I've got. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on The Real World Prepper. Bye-bye.